Have you ever thought about something you wanted to do and you talked yourself out of it? Most people fail in life, not because they aim too high and miss, but most people fail in life because they did just like I did for so many years. They aimed too low and hit. They didn't believe in themselves, so I want you right now to revisit and look at your goals and dreams, and let's raise the bar. I want you to look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, it's possible.
It's possible.
You see, sometimes we need that constant reminder that tells us, don't worry about what you have to do to get it done. Just go on and do it. It's possible. Growing up, I had it all. And what I mean by this is that I had two amazing parents who loved me and a family who cared a lot for me. That right there placed me ahead of the game. Not to mention I played for one of the most dominant football programs in the state of Kentucky. Pow. You know, I'm talking old school pow. Back in the day, I'm talking Bluegrass Aspendale days, where we practiced from 6 to 8:30 p.m. on a school night in one of the roughest neighborhoods in the city. Concession stand was in somebody's living room. Homecoming, king and queen. And what about the beats we used to play? You know, remember the beats? Remember them days, man. Or better yet, the coaches. Coach Fender, Coach Chuck, Coach Mike, Coach Ford, Coach Burbage, Coach Logan, and Coach Bull. From 2 or 3 weigh-ins and double checking our birth certificates just to make sure we was the right age. I remember this one game in particular, the game that everybody wanted to come watch because both teams were undefeated. It was the Power Raiders versus the Southland Packers. Now at the time I was about 5'4", 125 pounds, right on the border to be able to run the ball or not. I remember wearing a garbage bag every practice so that I could shed a few pounds. I was a slot receiver and a backup quarterback. Now the play that was called was I right, fake 48, quarterback waggle pass. You might think I'm crazy, but I remember like it was yesterday. I right, fake 48, quarterback waggle pass. We started the play. Everything is going as planned. Quarterback drops back to pass, and 3 oversized 12-year-olds hit the quarterback so hard as he was throwing, he broke his arm in 2 places.
Whoa.
Now we were only 12. When this happened, I freaked out. Almost an hour goes by before we resume with the game. So now we're back in the huddle, and everyone is still in shock from what happened, but so mad at the same time. Coach Bull comes into the huddle and says to us, "You all right?" Looks at me and says, "I guess that play didn't go right, did it? Let's try this. All right, fake 48, quarterback waggle pass." If you could see my face when he said that, but you had to know Coach Bull and who he was. In his eye, we did not run the play the way it was drawn up. Every one of those coaches taught us the importance of completion. To make a long story short, by halftime, the other team had forfeited the rest of the game because they could not do anything against us. The final score at halftime was 64-0.
Whoa.
It's possible. You know what I remember the most about playing for them coaches? The talks. Of course, they stated the obvious, but it was always said to us before every practice and game, and after every practice and every game, give us 100%. Give us your all. I believe it was Coach Logan who said one day, "Look around, fellas. We all we got. Nobody's going to give you anything. You have to earn what you want, and when the opportunity arises, decide this will be your moment and take it." Who would be the ones who look back on their life and say, man, I wish I did that? Instead, be the one who says, man, I'm glad I did that. That has stayed with me until this day. And I say it to myself quite often as my own motivation. It's possible. From elementary school, being told I was not good enough to be in the groups, couldn't choose where I wanted to sit like everyone else because I was a bully that nobody would ever want to work with. As a kid, who would like you? Or even in middle school when I was asked by one of my favorite teachers if I was high one day. Have I ever taken drugs? And if I had, then she would find out and nobody would ever want to be around you because you own drugs. Said this to me in front of my class. So you know how kids are. They run and tell. But what about in high school? I was labeled as the school bully my freshman year. Falsely accused of pulling a girl up the stairs by her hair. Come to show, the video said I was in the office the whole time. A teacher telling me, Lamont, you are very lucky if you even make it out of high school. Who would want to hire a kid who dresses like that, talks the way that you do? I can't lie about this story. She sat me down and said to me, do you see me dressing like this? Do you see how I treat others? No, I may not love my job as much as you enjoy being you, but I am very happy. I simply said, are you really happy? I was sent to safe for 3 days for being defiant. You know, if I had not had the computer to go home to when I was in elementary school, I don't know where I would be today. Or that basketball practice to go to after middle school, even after my varsity football practice during high school. Where would I be? If it was not for my extracurricular activities that my parents kept me in after school each day, then maybe I would have reacted like they expected me to. But I had always been taught better than that. So now I'm sitting inside my college dorm room on a scholarship for football. I call this my adversity journey. And it begins at Wilmington, Ohio. Wilmington College is where I would like to say I began a new chapter in my life. It was the first steps into my future. But how could I move forward knowing there were only 16 other people on campus who looked just like me? How could I study with people throwing rocks at my window? How am I able to move forward from this? I was not ready for this. It's a struggle sometimes to do this, especially when you have people around you telling you it's not possible, that you can't do it, and they're constantly pointing out all your failures of the past, constantly reminding you of all the things that you don't have going for you. But it took those late night emails and those phone calls with my mom while I was there. I was there to make a difference. A better day will come, she said. Make things happen. It's possible. Thanksgiving comes around, and for the first time in my life, I'm not able to spend it with my family. I told her, I said, Mom, Coach won't let us come home this weekend. She was hurt. But before I got off the phone with her, I needed to let her know how I was doing. I told her I was now starting on the football team. I just auditioned for a lead role in a play and got the part. And I also had just become the first African-American freshman class president at Wilmington College. It's possible. The next semester was mine to own. It was track season. Now mind you, Wilmington is a D3 school, very small. But our track team was pretty good. In fact, we were so good that we would go to bigger track meets outside of our conference. I was a javelin thrower. I used to carry that thing around like a pencil. One track meet we would go, it was called the All Out Track Meet, and it was held in Chicago. All kinds of schools were there. Tennessee, Georgia, Michigan, Oregon, Wisconsin, Ohio State, Florida, Texas, and UK. We did great. Towards the end of the meet, one of the coaches from Michigan came over to our tent. And then Georgia, and then Ohio State, and last to come was UK. There they stood, and here we are wondering what they wanted. Are you Lamont? With a confused look on my face, I said, yes, sir. That's me. The UK coach said, well, 2 of my SEC All-American javelin throwers came back, and I asked them how they do. One said 2nd place, the other said 4th. I asked them, well, who won? They said some black guy from a D3 school beat us. And the other coaches just kind of nodded. I was then awarded a scholarship to throw javelin for the University of Kentucky. It's possible. So here I am, 6 years later, sitting across the table at a professional development training from the same exact teacher who sent me to safe for 3 days.
What is that not
For being defiant, told me I wouldn't make it out of high school. I looked at her and said with a smile, hey. She replied, I'm sorry, do I know you? I calmly said no. Because when you did know me, I wasn't who I am today. I wasn't entitled to say what I needed to say to you then. But today, my name is Lamont Lawson, All-American javelin thrower with current records, a loving father, and a pal mentor. What is that? I said, instead of telling kids where to go, I'm guiding them on how to get there. What are you doing here? Well, I'm just here like you are, here to learn, to better myself. I'm an elementary school computer lab teacher. So now, you don't know me. You used to know the old me, but I remember you very well. You were the one who said I couldn't, but know this. I tell my students every chance I get, you can do this. I will not judge you for what you do not know or how you even act. My job is to teach you what I know and to make you a better you. In closing, I would like to thank you, Mama and Dad. Thank you for the support and tough love each day. Thank you to my best friend and girlfriend for accepting me for who I was and helping me to mold me into becoming a better person. To my family for just being there when I needed you the most. And to Pal for giving me that place to play the sport that I love. Allowing me to come back and give back to the cause. Giving me the chance to coach and do what I did like our coaches did for us. Being a mentor to not one, but many. And last, thank you for considering me as one of your mentors. It is truly an honor to be standing up here before you this evening. Remember, it's up to you to get your life together, to help to get your team together, or your children together. Stop yelling at them and start guiding them. Guide them to be better. Tell them you can handle anything, and tell them you are there to help them figure it out. For those of you that have experienced some hardships, don't give up on yourself or your dreams. The rough times are going to come, but they have not come to stay. They have come to pass. It's very important for you to believe that you are somebody. You can do it. Make yourself better. Get with people to teach you things that you didn't know. Get you some people who have done it successfully and learn from them. Take some seminars, workshops, read some books on how to manage a business. Change the way you see yourself and begin to tend to the personal details. Understand that nobody is going to take care of business better than you. Take the plunge, go into action. Ladies and gentlemen, you will be surprised on how things will come together. It's possible.